Hey, witches.
Hi, hello, and welcome back to another Well of Ascension. A very late Well of Ascension.
It's okay. Life happened.
Yeah, uh, it's been a rough year, personally, professionally, and emotionally, physically.
It's just been a rough
every
one,
way,
okay?
every way. But I feel like a lot of the brunt has been really last month and the start of this month. So, tally ho, partners.
So yeah, it's whatever part we're on now of,
7, I think. I don't know.
yeah,
Well of Ascension next one.
yeah. It's part 4 of the book though. I don't know what episode we're on, but it's part 4 of the book. I think it's actually episode 8, but that's okay. Doesn't really matter. And shit's crazy because of course it is.
I didn't have a lot to say. I had a lot of feelings.
Yeah. Um yeah.
Were they
So
good feelings? Who's to say?
yeah, I don't know. Like I a lot of it was confused. I was confused a lot.
Okay. Whenever a lot of people say I had a lot of feelings during this part, a lot of people are like, "Oh no, they were crying." No, I had a lot of different feelings. I had annoyance. I had a little confusion, a little what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Uh a lot of who the fuck is this? Um those kinds of emotions, not like ugh. Oh, and I was angry. Like I went from annoyed to angry real fast. I was like, this is stupid.
Well, yeah, and I was confused, but also I think part of my confusion was was like anger at Zane, but we'll get to that part later. So starting this part out, we're with Straff and Zane, and they're talking about their Allomancer assassins that they sent to try to kill Elend and Set, that failed miserably.
And for those who don't remember, all these allomancers are Straff's children.
Yeah, they're
He
all
has
Straff's children.
hundreds of mistresses to get this like allomancer, which I mean, okay. Home Dog was playing the long game way before all of that.
Yeah.
Like he planned ahead.
Yes. And I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, they got the merchants to flip and give the kingship to Penrod because Penrod was going to agree to hand everything over to Straff, who was then going to give them all like titles and shit like that. And well, I don't know. It's all really weird. And then there's a part where, if you remember us talking about the game that Zane and Straff play, game where Zane randomly like poisons Straff and Straff always figures it out, but this time he didn't until Zane said something, and then I just thought how funny it would be, like if he actually died because he didn't realize it. Like that'd be so fucking funny.
Listen, he okay. Zane needs to learn patience, first of all. Because
Yeah.
if he would have fucking waited and not say anything, he
Yep.
would have done it. And that's the thing. He even makes a comment in there like, it should have kicked in by now. And that's when he was like, excuse me?
Like what should have kicked in by now?
Like, if it's 5 hours past your like idea of when it should have kicked in, and he's still like good, then I would be like, oh, damn.
Yeah. But no. And it was starting to
it
kick
was
in. He
there.
just didn't
Yeah.
realize.
And he wasn't
But
going to let his son know that either.
no. But he made it back, and his mistress, Amaranta.
Amaranta?
Yeah, that's her name, right?
I don't know. I feel like that's oddly close. Oh, okay. You're right.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's awfully close to Amarantha. Like, no.
Yeah. Just with no H. But she saves him again, and then he's like, Zane had to die. And I'm like, okay, how the fuck are you going to manage that? Honestly.
Yeah. He didn't
The
even
only
notice
way to
that he
manage
got.
that is to somehow pit him against Vin, and Vin wins. But like, even then,
He's too afraid to even deal with that. So.
well, and he has the name of it just went out of my head, but the medal that lets him.
Atium.
Yeah.
Atium.
So like, even putting him against Vin, he's still not going to be able to. She's not going to be able to win without Atium of her own. So, ugh, he's dumb.
Didn't at this point though he?
I think that's in this.
Oh, okay.
Part.
It is. You're right. It is.
Yep. And that's the end. That's all I had for 39. So.
All I'm saying is that Zane needs to be fucking patient because he was so close.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, chapter 40 really creeped me out. I was very uncomfortable during this.
Yeah. Yes.
All
I
of
literally
this.
wrote, I'm really confused about this interaction. Something feels off. Like, everything. Honestly, this episode worth of chapters made me feel even more like Elend is the Kandra.
You know what? Yeah.
And maybe that's what he's trying to make us think, like the author, like maybe that's what he wants people to think at this point. I don't know. But this was really fucking weird. So if you remember from the last episode, Vin was like super upset because Elend had a look of horror on his face when he saw that guy's head explode. And she's still like beating herself the fuck up about that situation. And she's like, I don't know. She's getting on my nerves with that. But then he is being super fucking weird.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, okay, I get it. He's insane, or he's considered insane, or that's what he thinks he is, because he has something talk to him. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that like whole God thing later on at the end of this, but I'm just really confused because he's going off and just saying some random things like, "Oh, you would think this, right? Yeah, no, that's not it. This or that," and I'm like, "What? What do you mean? You're talking nonsense, and you're not even connecting your thoughts together."
Yeah.
Kind of like how I do most of the time, but it's like she's even asked that, like, "What is your game?" And he's like, you shouldn't have been hurt in the first place. You should have been able to do this."
Wait, hold on. I'm really confused. Are we talking about Zane right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he makes no sense right here when he's talking to Vin, because he goes off on a tangent of like nothing, like just stringing sentences along. And then he comes back with, you shouldn't have been hurt. You shouldn't have done that. You should have been able to take them down. And it's like, what's your game? What are you going for?
Yeah, and even here he's lying to her because he's like saying like sent those men, those allomancers after you, blah blah blah.
Yeah, his lie wasn't sound.
Yeah. Um and I feel like eventually, not in this chapter, but eventually she figures it out. Or
She does.
maybe it is this chapter.
It is.
But anyway, he's basically lying to her and I'm like really confused about that.
Yeah, mainly because he's there's like something about when he oh, what is it? He made a comment about where he was located. But like I vaguely remember Vin saying something that she saw Zane in the crowd. I know he was in the crowd the first time,
Yeah.
but I could have sworn.
I think she said she saw somebody that was looked familiar in the crowd.
Yes, because one of them up to came up to her at at the end, like when she was fighting everybody.
Yeah.
She like recognized him. But I thought Zane was in the crowd. And that might be why I was confused, because maybe he actually wasn't. Maybe he's telling the truth about that and just lying about who sent who. Instead of sending the assassins, it was actually Zane.
Yeah. And then he gives her a bead of ATM, and then he jumps out the window. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely weird. And then Orser comes in and is like talking to her, and he has another dog body.
And he quite likes it.
Yeah. And then they start talking. I don't know. It's a really weird conversation because he's so like cryptic about everything. But they start talking.
God, always.
And he's like basically tells her that the Lord Ruler created the Kandra. And that the older Mistborn, like the Mistborn of old, could do things with allomancy to the Kandra, but that the newer Mistborn can't. And then she tries to like affect him and like hurts him.
Yeah, she tries to like put a soothe him, and I think it was probably more painful than anything, because allomancy is technically not supposed to do anything to them, so for it to do something, it was probably hurt.
Right. And so like she fucked up because he literally almost broke his contract to save her because he's not supposed to attack humans. And then she turns around and does this to him. Like, you fucked up, Finn. You were a shitty friend. That was shitty. And that's the end of chapter 40.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't have, like, I would have condoned her attempting to try it, because it's, I mean, if you're gonna try to find the Kandra throughout,
right,
then it'd be a good idea to maybe practice it.
Yeah.
But not to use the 11th medal.
Right. Yeah, that was her really
especially
big mistake.
Because she's not
healthy.
I she's say confident in herself with it, but
that too.
Because whenever she does use that medal, it's always I don't know, she uses a lot of
Chaotic.
well, yeah, I was gonna say she uses a lot of emotion behind her her
Yeah,
like needs at that time, so I feel like that probably doesn't help like at all. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's why she's so good at it, because she like puts a lot of her feelings into it. She has like an innate feeling to be wary, so she's good being a tin eye or like hearing things. Like
maybe.
she puts emotion behind her like powers, basically. But she fucks up and they
She
both have to
does.
rest, and that's really it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy terrifying, like how good she is
Yeah, it
after
really
thousands
is.
of years. She's
Yeah.
the hero of ages.
Then, in chapter 41, we're with Sazin and Tindwell. And they're definitely missing something in this whole thing. They're going through their notes, they're reading the rubbing thing that he took and translated, and they're missing something. But they are having they have like a little moment. And then they go right back to it. Like they just Satan's starting to doubt himself, and Tindwell's like, nope, we got to keep going. Like, and they do.
I think this is technically something that I was gonna say about later, but hear me out. Okay. So what if Elend is the Kandra? What if the Elend she knows is gone, and this new one is obviously have to be like a new changed man? So he like ultimately convinces her to go towards the feelings that she wants. Like where, because she's like feeling random pulses from up north in the mountains. So what if he convinces her to actively go yonder to the Well of Ascension? Essentially is basically what that is, or what I'm assuming it is. And Zane is like that weird side character that we don't really know his like plot point yet. He's just there to thicken it up. So what if this is kind of like what they're reliving through is a retelling of Quan, Elendi, and Rashik? Because maybe Quan is not necessarily, maybe he's playing. You know how like when you have evidence, so like you're like, oh, I want to tell you how much of a fucking prick you are. But in my email, I'm going to be really, really nice to you because that's documented. What if it's something like that? What if he is pretending to be somebody else on paper and he is actually someone just like Rashik? Because Rashik hated his people. We knew that from the first book. And Zane's like weird about his people and like not his
Yeah.
people. So like what if Zane is Rashik? Quan is the double ego person, and it's actually Elend who's a Kandra, and she's the hero of ages. And what if like the big finale is like some big fight at the Well of Ascension?
It could
And
be. Then it's the next book, which is called The Hero of Ages.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, this is like she can do shit that the Lord Ruler can do. She can do some whatever. And maybe that's why the Lord Ruler was able to do all of those things, because he had the Will of Ascension power, because like obviously we know he went in there instead. And what if like he was able to manipulate like the Kolas and the Kandra and make them like, what if they actually are human, just creatures that have been created and intermingled for years? Like,
I don't know. That's all very interesting thoughts.
I've done a lot of thinking. I've done a lot of thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we go to Elend and Vin, and they're both like, I said, if they don't fucking talk to each other, because they're both like, he's like, she's not gonna love me anymore because I'm not king. But wait, she's not shallow like that. But I don't have the power anymore. And she's like, I'm a monster, and he knows it now, so he's not gonna love me anymore. And I'm like, if these two don't just fucking talk to each other.
That brings up another thing. What if he's not necessarily scared at her power? Like, okay, so obviously it was like a terrified look from Vin, and we're hearing from him that, like, I'm not a man enough for her.
Mm-hmm.
So what? So what if Elend is the Kandra?
I'm convinced almost that he is.
Hold on. And he's terrified at what Vin can do because the last person he knew who could control them was the Lord Ruler,
Mm.
hero of ages.
Yeah. There is one thing though that I caught at the end of the chapter. Sazed, Elend is talking to Sazed and Tidwell. And at the end of the chapter, Sazed calls him His Majesty. He says, "Come, Tidwell, we should return to our studies. His Majesty has work to do, I think." So, like, he's still their king, I guess. Like, they're not giving up.
They're not giving up, so neither should you.
Oh, goodness, excuse me. And that is the end of that chapter. So, then chapter 42, we are, like, flying through this one.
Yeah.
So the first little part of the chapter, Elend is talking to Jimmo and then a newcomer, and he's like, "Don't I know you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I led you into the Lord Ruler's palace to help rescue Lady Vin." And then like Elend just remembers his name and like all of these things, and I'm like, "Oh." And they're,
what a baby.
I just love him. But then I'm like, but it's not really him. Like,
I'm so convinced.
well, and like the things that he's doing is something that Elend would do, but is it something that Elend currently has the power to do? I don't know, but he's doing it anyway, and I feel like the Kandra would have done that research and known that that's what he should do.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody says that there's an inquisitor, like, in the city, and he's seen him around. And I'm like, is it Marsh?
That's what I was thinking.
Marsh told Sazed he was going to meet him there, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
it's been a while.
Is it Marsh? I don't know. We don't really find out during this part, but yeah, it was just, I feel like that's going to become important, whether it's because it's Marsh and Marsh comes in and is like, that's a Kandra. Or if it's not Marsh and they come in and Vin has to fight them, or like what it is. But
I wonder if they're able to actually spot Kandra. We actually don't know that.
But their eyes are so like weird with their spikes and stuff. I'm like, can they see that? Like, can they see like the true nature of something?
Maybe that's why they're able to like essentially be blind.
Right. I can't read what I wrote.
Okay, well then while you figure that out, I'll say my comment real quick about what's his name? Elend in this moment. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm not," because he basically lost because he refused to cheat, is what it is. So he like used his goodwill, if you wish to call it that, to essentially lose the throne. I think because he had like refuses to lie about it. And here's the thing, I honestly believe, like, if you're going to be a damn good leader and you're going to do it for the benefit of your people, I don't give a fuck if you lie to someone. Like, if I was Ska in Luthadel and my leaders, my government, are essentially deciding between a tyrant slash murderer tyrant, or somebody who's actually going to go for me, and I know for a fact they're not going to do that, they want these two, like, I'd rather have my monarch or whatever fucking lie to get the throne.
Yeah.
I'd rather you be a tyrant against your government, but better your people.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care who you step on. Is it benefiting me? Hell yeah. Is it benefiting the populace? Fuck yeah. Do I
So
have any
that
complaints?
also kind of
No.
makes me feel a little bit like it's the Kandra, because yes, Elend is honorable to a fault, but would he have given up that easily? Or would he have justified the lie to himself?
No.
Yeah.
I because here's the thing. In chapter 39, when we're talking to, like, between Zane and Straff, and we learn that, like, obviously someone is stationed within Luthadel directly to spy on them, whether that's the Kandra, whether that's like a maid. It very well could be the Kandra. So what if the Kandra like infiltrated the city as somebody, worked in the whoever, and then like Zane killed whoever to go eat the bones and become like a maid? Someone was sticking shit in like soup for something, like, for whoever.
Oh, yeah.
So what if someone actually poisoned Elend, disposed of like the old body, and then the Kandra, the maid?
Huh? Yeah.
And what if those bones... You good? Okay. Something happened with her. Anyways, so what if those bones are actually like the bones for somebody to come in, and they were actually planted there so that everybody would or like so that the Kandra or whoever the fuck it is, Elend would see it and be like, "Oh no, we have a traitor amongst our midst." And that is right there is exactly what I think should happen. But whatever the case may be, we won't know that. And I actually had Will look this up, and I had asked him, I was like, okay, I don't want to know who the traitor is. What I want to know is how did he, or like when are we going to find out? What chapter should we find this out? And actually, he said chapter 47, and guess what? We don't hit chapter 47 until next episode. So that really sucks. What was it? Oh, yeah. Oh, you can still see and hear me. Hello, Brandy. Brandy's gotten something fucked up. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just telling her my theories that listen, I haven't been able to relax recently. I've been under a lot of stress. And some of the old ways, some of the way that I can relax is, sometimes smoking or having a little bit of a stuff. And I basically have been smoking a lot recently. And and these are my thoughts um while I'm reading. It helps me focus too. And because I've been under a lot of stress, I haven't actually been able to focus as much despite being on Adderall. So, and I haven't been sleeping. um so that sucks. But because I've been smoking, I've been able to focus more. Because that's how it works for me, and I've been able to read and think of all this bullshit. I ad-libbed. But here you are. Kind of. Can't hear you. You can hear me, but your mic's not
can you hear
connected.
me now?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. It shut off my mic. I don't know what happened. I don't know if my thing did a reset or what, but I just closed out of everything and came back in, and here we are.
That's fine. I finished my theory that the old bones were placed because they think if Elend sees them and he doesn't freak out over it, then he would be able to
yeah,
plant the seed of deceit.
Okay. I didn't figure out what I wrote, so I still don't know what I was talking about, and that's fine. But
we actually learn about who the traitor is in 47.
Oh, okay.
Will was like, who do you think the traitor is? Who do you think the traitor is? And every time I say it, he goes, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
and I was
actually,
like, am I right? And he goes, I don't know.
The fact that Will was like, what if it's Elend? Is like my number one reason for believing so hard that it's Elend. And I'm probably convincing myself now that it is, but I'm probably
exactly. Yeah. You have just been a victim of what the bullshit William does.
Yeah.
We have been dating. I freaked my camera out so much I threw it out of focus. We have been dating for so long, and I still second guess myself when I'm trying to put in his fucking birthday. Babe, what your birthday is March 22nd? Is it? I don't know, that's why I'm fucking asking you. Are we sure it's March 22nd? Listen, I could sit here and say it's March 23rd and you say the same damn bullshit. So is it March 22nd? Yes, it's March 22nd. Okay. And then just goes back to whatever, fucking scrolling TikTok.
Well, that's what we're fucking celebrating it now.
And so then I'm sitting there like, am I right? And he just looks at me and he goes, I don't know why. You ever had a hand necklace because you're about to get one? It's called a choker. Oh my god. I get so mad. I get so frustrated. All the fucking time.
Yeah, I would too.
So I'm telling that right there, you thinking it's Elend, it's probably not even fucking Elend, first off.
But
no, it's probably just a tiny little seed that was planted in the back of our fucking brain. And it's blossomed the more we fucking read because of that little seed.
Squilliam. Well,
he hasn't been the happiest recently, so I'm gonna play this back for him.
And he's going to love it.
Hopefully if he doesn't, we're gonna replay it
again.
Because he didn't hear it the first time.
Well,
and if we have to do it a second time, okay. He didn't think it was funny.
Oh my gosh. So then the next thing, because I still don't know what the fuck I wrote. He says, Elend looks at him and says, I have a question for you. How insane are you feeling at the moment? And this was definitely insane. This whole thing that happens.
These words have never come out of his fucking mouth. And I am like, who the fuck is this? It ain't Elend.
Yeah, this is
It ain't Elend.
yeah, this whole thing is insane. It's fucking insane. He just walks right the fuck into the Colossus camp. Right the fuck in. And it's like, take me to your leader.
Show me your titties.
Exactly like that.
Oh, not this. Show me your wiener. That's exactly what it is. It has nothing to do with titties.
I mean, titties are better. It's fine.
That's probably why I was saying it. Oh shit.
Yeah. So basically, he just walks in the fucking camp and is like, "Take me to your leader," and they do. And
he's trying to figure out everything about these guys.
Yeah. And at first, I'm gonna say it wrong because I say it wrong every time. Jasts. I don't know. Whatever the fuck his name is. He's like, take his majesty captive, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I'm not the king anymore. Do you think I'd come here and let myself get captured if I were king?
Yes.
Yeah. And then he finds out that because he's trying to figure out, like, how are you controlling the Colossus? And he's like, I'm paying them. But paying them what? Paying them what? Still don't know.
Also, Jace kind of reminds me of Donald Trump.
I kind of love that. And Donald Trump would totally align himself with the fucking Colossus and just assume that by giving them money that everything was going to be fine and they weren't going to turn on him.
That's why I said it. I could do it. I can do it. If anyone can do it, I could do it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But that's basically...
Honestly...
That's basically the whole chapter.
Yeah, honestly, I think... Oh, you missed the most important part. What the fuck? Can we just talk about the fact that Elend's like, fuck my horse, you walk me out, and then he just sees a tiny little Colossus and just beats it the fuck up in various ways. Very like, what? Who the fuck is this? And then he just takes a sword and takes the pouches so that he can investigate them, because why not be more insane than this? And he's like,
he ate my horse.
He ate my horse.
What?
First of all, you fucking lied, bro. Where's that honor?
Yeah.
Where is that fucking honor?
Yep. And then
because there is no honor. He's a Kandra.
Yeah. Well, and then he's like, looking in the... You know what, though? That kind of makes me think maybe he's not the Kandra, because didn't Orsur say that the Kandra and the Colossus were, like, friends?
They're family.
Yeah, they're like, related. Basically. But maybe, I don't know. But then he says, like, he took one of the pouches, and he's like... And he looks inside, and he says he was paying them. But paying them what? Like... Money? Just money?
Do you not find out this episode?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I read ahead.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I found out.
I don't think you find out.
I think I figured it out.
No. Because the next whole chapter, I think, is Zane and Vin doing something fucking insane.
True. Okay, so listen, I know I've been saying I think Elend's the Kandra, but what if he's not the Kandra and Will?
Wait, have you read chapter 47 already?
No.
Oh, okay, you didn't read that far ahead.
No, I literally I read one fucking
chapter.
Okay.
Okay.
I read ahead, okay?
No, that's
I read
reading
one
ahead.
chapter
That's
ahead
still
of.
reading ahead. I
read ahead.
I thought for a minute that you've been gaslighting me this whole time, and you've been like, I don't know, is it? I don't know, is it?
I learned from the best.
I think Elend is the Kandra, and then but you already fucking know. I was like, is she just fucking with me?
No, I really don't know. But I'm this close to finding out.
Yeah.
Because were you even able to hear when I said that? Like I asked Will to look it up.
I did hear
find
that
out.
part.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was only like 10 seconds that I couldn't hear what was happening.
Okay. So what if Will is like, I told you it wasn't Elend. Why would it be Elend? Because you were getting his point of view the entire time. Like, because he's like talking to himself and like thinking up these crazy stunts as if we're talking to Elend or like listening to him. And we're over here half convincing ourselves that it has everything to do with the fact that, I don't know, he's just acting a little weird.
I don't know. I feel like...
And he just sits there, he's like, you were reading his point of view the entire time. Why would it be Elend? Like, you should have known that. Like,
listen, Squilliam. Just because your brain works that way doesn't mean ours does.
No, he fucking does that just to, like, fuck with you because he enjoys it, and it's not hurtful.
It's really funny because the first sentence that I wrote about chapter 43 says, so he's manipulating her.
Oh, yeah. Because why else would we have tall, dark, handsome?
Yeah.
As a anything but a great character.
Yeah, well, and he's like, Jimo is the, fuck. He's the traitor. He contacted my father a short time before the assassination attempt, offering to open the gates and give up the city. Set made him do it. Like, and he's like telling her all of these things, like Set did this, Set did that. And basically they go to assassinate Set together. And it's like this really long, like drawn out scene that would be really cool if it was a movie, but like, there's no way we can describe it.
Honestly, like, I can't describe what happens in the scene, but like, I low-key was picturing like the Avengers. Like, picture the Avenger Tower.
Yeah, when they're like going in and out of the windows and
yeah. And it's like, and that's exactly what it is. It's an Avenger fight scene.
Yeah.
Because you have the tower, you have like layers to get all the way up to possibly the top, because you don't know where your like person is, like who you're trying to find, like where they're located. And you like go in through the front, and then like the camera pans up to like second or like the third floor, and then it comes back in and you're fighting, and then it pans back out again.
Yes.
And then like the character like flies out the window and you follow them all the way up. Like, that's the kind of scene that was written here.
That
like,
is such a perfect description. Absolutely.
Like, if you basically next time you watch Avengers with like a tall tower scene where they're going in and out, up and down the floors, like just picture that and read the plot. Like, that's exactly what it'll be.
Yeah. And then the entire rest of the chapter, once they find Set, just gives me the ick.
Yeah.
Like,
and this is where I was really pissed off. I was annoyed. I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck? Because she's not her.
Yeah.
She is like experiencing something. Oh, what if the god, I forgot to say this earlier about Zane. What if the god that is talking to Zane is like the deepness?
Could be.
Okay, sorry.
That would actually make a lot of sense.
By the way, you need to go back. After this, when we're like going through it, I'm going to show you this tiny little tidbit that just happened on the screen.
Okay. Wonderful.
Just so you can watch it. Because when I looked at you, you weren't watching.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really, really frustrated me because she wasn't her.
Correct. She was being like Zane.
Taken
Yeah.
over. Like, she was like being possessed.
She had been manipulated
She was-
into this frenzy.
She's like trying to, she's trying to attack Set because like he tried to hurt everybody because he sent the assassins, and it like, I also was wondering if Zane is playing like his own game.
Oh, for sure.
Like he's like trying to lessen his opponent so he can be more important to his father, or he's trying to murder his father by poisoning him, and now he's like playing Vin against Elend, and then now he's trying to take out Set. So like, I don't think he's insane, more along the lines of like he knows, not necessarily knows what he's doing, but he's playing a long game here.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But also, you know that meme where they say he beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker, and it's just like some dude holding.
Yeah.
For anyone who reads this book, picture the Avengers fighting scenes in that meme. It is gold.
I mean,
anyone who's read this, go back and reread it and then think of those two things. It'll make your day.
That does. I do find that amusing.
She beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker. A dead motherfucker, but a motherfucker nonetheless.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're dead.
Surprise, motherfucker. A corpse. I'm funnier when I smoke. Or I think I'm funnier when I smoke.
I mean, I think it's funny too, but that's...
Okay. It's not just me then. Anyways.
Yeah, that's all I had about the chapters.
Yeah. And honestly, the end of this entire episode was what the fuck.
Yeah.
Because that sums up the ending of chapter 43. That sums up the ending to this entire episode.
It truly does. It truly does.
So,
just what the fuck? What the fuck did I just read? What the fuck did Vin just do? What the fuck happened?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Okay, now you have to go watch a tiny little clip of a bird going around. What the fuck?
My favorite bird on TikTok is Bacon Pancakes. I don't remember what his name is.
Bacon pancakes, bacon pancakes,
Yes.
bacon pancakes, bacon pancakes.
Bacon. He's my favorite. Or she's my favorite. I don't remember.
What's really funny is that I actually saw videos of Bacon Pancake with another Quaker. So that bird is a Quaker parrot. Augie,
yeah,
her name. Yeah, so Augie really loves this song, and she'll like start singing it. But I actually saw a video of a green Quaker singing Bacon Pancakes. And that's where I saw that first.
The one that I'm thinking of is definitely like blue or gray.
Yeah, so that's Augie.
Yeah.
The one I was thinking of, like, I don't, to be honest, I don't even know his, like, what the bird's name is. But that's where I saw it first. And it's always like, he's always in a shower. He's always showering with his, like with his human or whatever. And that's where Tiki. The bird's name is Tiki.
Okay.
It's a green Quaker parrot named Tiki, and Tiki's always singing bacon pancakes in the shower while his like either while his mom showers or like while she like is in there with him. But that's where I first heard it, and then Augie came around.
Yeah, I had never heard bacon pancakes until the parrots started singing it. I don't know if it's like an actual song or if it's just from.
It is.
Okay, yeah, I'd never heard that before until I started listening to birds singing on TikTok.
Have you seen Adventure Time?
No. I mean, I know what that is.
The dog,
but like,
yeah. So the dog from Adventure Time.
Okay, he's like yellowish, orangish.
Yeah, and he stretches a lot. It's actually a song that he sings.
Okay.
Making pancakes, making bacon pancakes, making pancakes, making bacon pancakes. It's not like that's not like how the song goes, but like it's something similar to it, and that's where it comes from.
Well, it's very cute when the birds on TikTok sing it.
Bacon, 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 bacon.
And because she usually dances too, like.
Yeah, and it's like.
Yeah, she's so excited.
And then because she like is using her chest, she like bounces. That's.
So if you're not watching the YouTube, you need to turn this off immediately and go to the YouTube. She's doing it again.
Listen, it's so cute, and I love it. Because animals have funny personality.
They really do. And if birds weren't such a pain in the ass to take care of, I would so want one.
Yeah, agreed. But okay. Anyways, until next time.
Bye.